Please don't make the super suit green. Or animated.
Welcome to Watch Mojo, and today we're counting down our picks for Deadpool's best digs and nods to other heroes and anti-heroes from across all media.
With this collar on, my superpower is just
unbridled cancer. Give me a bow and arrow, I'm basically Hawkeye.
Number 20. I'm Batman. Deadpool 2. While trapped inside a prison meant to hold mutants, Deadpool encounters the time-traveling anti-hero Cable, whose prime objective is to kill a young mutant Deadpool is trying to keep safe. Naturally, the two polar opposites brawl. And when Cable asks who Deadpool is, Wade cheekily replies,
I'm Batman.
We're pretty sure everyone at some point or another has uttered these two words.
I'm Batman.
It might just be a brief impression lightly riffing on Batman, but it is a hilariously unexpected line. The way he even imitates the gruff way that Michael Keaton says it also makes the moment a standout.
I'm Batman.
Ryan Reynolds will always be Deadpool, but hey, who knows? Maybe he can try his hand at the Dark Knight someday too. Number 19. Taskmaster's name. Deadpool number 9. It takes a lot to be a supervillain / occasional antihero. Superior skills and meaningful motives, but also a solid name. Unfortunately for Taskmaster, Deadpool doesn't think his alias is up to par. In an issue from the Deadpool comic, the two trade barbs with one another. Deciding to bring out the big guns, Wade starts dissing his rival's alter ego. Though he insults Taskmaster, he brings up solid points. After all, if your name sounds less like it belongs to a criminal mastermind and more like it belongs to a Kmart appliance, then it's time to rethink your whole gimmick. Number 18. McAvoy or Stewart. Deadpool. Though multiple live-action versions of the same character have become pretty commonplace within the last decade, it doesn't mean the concept can't occasionally be confusing. This is especially true when examining the mind-bogglingly frustrating X-Men movie timelines.
Morning, Logan. Late start.
Echoing fans' issues with them is none other than the Merc with a Mouth. As Colossus drags Deadpool away to go visit Professor X, he exhaustively asks which version of the Professor it is.
Let us go talk to the Professor.
McAvoy or Stewart? These timelines are so confusing.
Deadpool is no continuity cop, but honestly, we appreciate him trying to keep track of the different professors as humorously as only he can. Number 17. Wolverine's jealous of Deadpool's healing factor. Ultimate Spider-Man. While Deadpool's brief appearance in the Ultimate Spider-Man cartoon isn't quite a picture-perfect adaptation, there are some moments where his iconic personality truly shines.
Well, word is that Fury left his shield tablet in a hotel bathroom. So you can see why I'd want to be discreet.
An example of this is when Deadpool begins ranting to Spidey about his healing factor. To gloat, he starts doing an impression of Wolverine wishing he had a healing factor as good as his.
I got a healing factor that makes Wolverine go like,
I wish I had Deadpool's healing factor, bub.
It's all in my origin story.
There's no doubt that Deadpool's regenerative abilities are top tier, but is clowning on Wolverine really the smartest move? No, but then again, you wouldn't expect Deadpool of all people to make the smartest moves. Number 16. Parodying Logan's death. Deadpool 2. It's safe to say that Wolverine got one of the greatest superhero send-offs ever in Logan.
Don't be what they made you.
So really, it only makes sense that Deadpool 2 would find a way to parody it.
Papa? Papa, can you hear me? Papa, can you find me in the...
When Wade is left critically injured, he shares his final words.
There it is. No, that's the sun. Don't stare directly into that.
They aren't actually his final words, though, and they're not exactly uplifting either.
Woodpecker. Gingivitis. Codswallop. Do you want to build a snowman?
The moment isn't just a funny imitation of Logan's death. It also uses the same music from that heartbreaking moment to great comedic effect. It's not the first time the movie ribs Hugh Jackman's Wolverine. In an earlier scene, Deadpool signs a kid's box of Hero Flakes, which just so happened to feature him on the front.
Superhero landing coming up.
If Deadpool isn't teasing Wolverine, then is he even Deadpool? Number 15. Dressing up like the Batman who laughs. Deadpool, the end. When an alternate Earth Batman tragically succumbs to the Joker toxin, the once noble hero is transformed into a vicious maniac called the Batman who laughs. While the character is an interesting concept, many have been quick to point out that he's kind of an edgelord. And in Deadpool the End, it looks like even Wade's getting in on the roast. He ditches his signature costume for a darker look and starts spouting off all sorts of nonsense. While his look isn't entirely ripped off of the Batman who laughs, his helmet and cynical attitude definitely are. Swapping his colorful humor out for depressing deconstructionism, he essentially becomes the Batpool who laughs. Number 14. Wanting to become Superman for all the wrong reasons. Deadpool 2. It's nice to want to be Superman. Unfortunately, Deadpool only wants to be him for nefarious purposes. While holding auditions to find new teammates, Wade and his friend Weasel meet an alien named Shatterstar.
My name's Rusty, but I go by Shatterstar.
That's good. Yeah, Rusty is toughy.
He mentions how he's pretty much more powerful than everybody, and Wade then goes on a tangent about how he wishes he could live that exact same reality.
Just once I'm gonna find a planet of people that are worse than me at everything. A whole bunch of functional idiots. I'm gonna go there and I'm gonna be their Superman.
Isn't that Canada?
You shut your goddamn trash mouth.
He essentially wants to be Superman, but we get the vibe that he'd end up more like Homelander.
The only man in the sky is me.
He comically misses the point of Superman and distorts his purpose, which just goes to show how quickly Deadpool can go from funny to disturbing. Number 13. Scaredevil. Deadpool. As Wade prepares to become a costumed mercenary, different names to use are brainstormed. The names thrown around aren't that great, but one interesting alias happens to be Scaredevil.
All you need now is a suit and a nickname, like Wade the Wisecracker or Scaredevil. Mr. Never Die.
If you haven't guessed, it's a light dig at Daredevil. We're glad he went with Deadpool instead, since it's clearly the superior name.
Because I'm never gonna win the,
Deadpool. Captain Deadpool.
But we have to wonder what it would be like if he adopted the Scaredevil moniker instead. We know he doesn't have the devilish good looks, but who knows? He could probably rock the horns pretty well. Number 12. Sun's getting real low. Deadpool 2. When dealing with forces of pure destruction, some heroes have found great success in calming these beasts down. Black Widow, for example, was able to get a nearly feral Hulk under control in Age of Ultron.
Sun's getting real low.
It's a neat trick, but not one that can be easily replicated, as Deadpool found this out the hard way. In a brief scene that pokes fun at the MCU, Wade uses the exact same line that Black Widow used on Hulk to try and subdue Juggernaut.
Hey, big guy, the sun's getting real low.
Let's just say it leads to some hilariously devastating results. These kinds of character bonding moments that are common in the MCU don't always work out everywhere else. When they don't, then you get moments that are horrifying instead of wholesome. Number 11. Go get her, Tiger. Deadpool. When Angel Dust throws a wrench into Deadpool's plans to get revenge on Francis, Negasonic Teenage Warhead helps take Angel Dust out of the equation. At least right after she's done using her smartphone.
Oh no, finish your tweet.
As Negasonic gets ready to do her thing, Wade cheekily offers up some words of encouragement.
There you go, hashtag it. Go get her, Tiger.
If the line sounds familiar, that's because it's similar to what Mary Jane frequently says to Spider-Man.
Go get him, Tiger.
We're not really trying to gatekeep this phrase of endearment, but we think we'd normally prefer if MJ were the one saying it rather than Deadpool. When the merc with a mouth says it, then it's less of a positive affirmation and more of a quippy joke. But hey, maybe that's just us. Number 10. Outselling Superman. Deadpool vs. Thanos number 1. Fans of the Deadpool comics have been blessed with numerous jokes at the expense of other superheroes, and not just Marvel ones. In the comic Deadpool vs. Thanos number 1, Wade is perplexed when he shoots Dr. Doom, only for the villain to come back to life. Talking to Black Talon about the situation, he realizes that Thanos must have captured Death, and decides to rescue her. When Talon tries to warn him about how powerful Thanos is, Deadpool snarkily boasts that he's, quote, an unkillable mutant merc who regularly outsells Superman. Yeesh, not even the Man of Steel is safe from Deadpool's potshots. Number 9. Visiting the X-Mansion. Deadpool. When Deadpool visited the X-Mansion in the first Deadpool movie, viewers held their breath waiting for Wolverine or Professor X to make a cameo. We didn't get that, but what we got was still hilarious.
Ripley from Alien 3.
First, there was Deadpool's mocking nicknames for Negasonic Teenage Warhead and Colossus.
Go get silver balls.
Then there was the moment when he went meta and wondered out loud why the movie didn't feature more X-Men.
I'm gonna wait out here, okay? It's a big house. It's funny that I only ever see 2 of you. It's almost like the studio couldn't afford another X-Man.
He would return to the X-Mansion with the same question in the sequel, and viewers would get something of an answer, this time at Deadpool's expense.
I am not X-Man material at all. First off, I'm not even a virgin. Second, and more...
Number 8. Calling Cable Thanos. Deadpool 2. The second Deadpool movie is chock full of pop culture nods and jabs.
I made mistakes. I want to take them back.
When Deadpool learns that Russell will go on to kill Cable's family in the future, he strikes a deal with Cable to try to convince the young Russell to change his dark future.
Promise you give me a chance to put him on a different path.
Define chance.
I don't know. How long does it take to save someone's soul? That's
I'll
not...
give you 30 seconds.
After Russell blows the doors of the orphanage open, Cable insists he's too far gone. But Deadpool quips back,
Zip it, Thanos. We have a deal.
it's the perfect shutdown thanks, of course, to the fact that Josh Brolin, who plays Cable, also portrayed the Mad Titan in the Marvel Cinematic Universe. Number 7. Aversion to green suits. Deadpool. Much has been said about the quality of the 2011 movie adaptation of Green Lantern starring Ryan Reynolds.
Not bad, huh? You're a superhero.
With Reynolds playing Deadpool, it was a foregone conclusion that the merc with a mouth would ridicule his previous role.
What is this? Why is your skin green? Why are you glowing? What the hell is with that mask?
When Wade is recruited for experimental cancer treatment, he pokes fun at his former DC character. As he's being pulled along on a gurney, he remarks,
And please don't make the supersuit green. Or animated.
this throwaway line is a perfect jab at Green Lantern's heavy use of CGI, especially on the hero's costume, which was widely criticized upon the movie's release. Number 6. Hulk's Intelligence. Deadpool number 9. In this issue of the comics, Deadpool is stuck in the Bone Beast dimension. After fighting off several Bone Beasts, Wade learns that the Bone Beast Queen wants to take over his body. In the midst of a fight with one of the beasts, Deadpool decides he wants to Hulk out of his current predicament because, quote, Hulk is real dumb and pulls it off all the time. He then quips that he's, quote, at least as dumb as the Hulk. Hulk may be more brawn than brains, but Bruce Banner is a brilliant theoretical physicist. You might want to dial it back there, Deadpool. Number 5. The Dark DCEU. Deadpool 2. The DC versus Marvel debate has been going on since both franchises started creating comics back in the 1930s. Both have seen their ups and downs.
They say it was just one guy. Or a creature.
Or some asshole in a costume.
But as comic book movies became more mainstream in the 2000s, we saw a distinct difference in the tone of their respective films.
I will harvest the codex from your son's corpse, and I will rebuild Krypton.
Christopher Nolan's take on Batman kicked off the more somber side of DC.
What the hell are you? I'm Batman.
This continued in the DCEU with Zack Snyder's films. In Deadpool 2, our merc with a mouth takes notice of how driven Cable is, and quips,
So dark! These ain't not from the DC universe!
It's a quick one-liner that reminds us of the lighter nature of films found on the Marvel side of the fence. Number 4. Hawkeye Can't Catch a Break. Deadpool 2. Compared to the likes of a super soldier, an Asgardian god, and a rage monster, Hawkeye's inclusion in the Avengers has always been an easy target to poke fun at.
Now, Hawkeye, it's time to do your thing.
I'm out of arrows.
What?
I'm all out of arrows. I don't have any more. So, I guess I'm done, right? You know?
He's a very skilled marksman, but doesn't actually have any superpowers, or even a mechanized suit of armor.
The city is flying. We're fighting an army of robots. And I have a bow and arrow. None of this makes sense.
Essentially, he's just really good at firing arrows. So when Deadpool finds himself locked up in the icebox with no superpowers, he self-deprecates in the best way by comparing himself to the bow-slinging superhero.
This collar on, my superpower is just...
Unbridled cancer. Give me a bow and arrow, I'm basically Hawkeye.
Number 3. Another Martha to the mix. Deadpool 2. When Batman vs. Superman was released, audiences were not thrilled with how the superheroes went from enemies to friends upon learning that their mothers had the same name.
You're letting him kill Martha. What does that mean? Why did you say that name?
Since then, the Martha moment has been the source of many jokes and criticisms. Even Deadpool himself got in a little jab in Deadpool vs. Punisher number 5 when he reenacts the scene to hilarious effect, remarking, quote, "I mean, this changes everything, you know?" However, the best joke comes during Deadpool 2, where he explains to Vanessa why he's late.
There was a bunch of handy, capable children stuck in a tree, and I had to, You're right, I was fighting a caped badass. Then I discovered his mom is named Martha, too.
It's yet another quick flash-in-the-pan gag that only viewers of both movies would catch. Number 2. Why Deadpool won't join the X-Men. Deadpool. When the first Deadpool movie was released, the only Marvel characters that could be included beyond Wade himself were ones that 20th Century Fox still had rights to.
And you are...
Negasonic Teenage Warhead.
Negasonic Teenage... What the shit? That's the coolest name ever!
The most notable of these were the X-Men, which Deadpool has a long and complicated history with. It came as no surprise that during the movie, Deadpool took his share of potshots at the mutant franchise. One notable example of this happens shortly after capturing Francis on the bridge. Colossus tries to convince him to join the X-Men, and Deadpool isn't having any of it.
Listen, the day I decided to become a crime-fighting shit-swizzler who rooms with a bunch of other little whiners at the Neverland mansion of some creepy, old, bald...
It's a pretty explicit takedown of the X-Men and Professor X, but it drives home the idea that Deadpool is better off solo. Before we continue, be sure to subscribe to our channel and ring the bell to get notified about our latest videos. You have the option to be notified for occasional videos or all of them. If you're on your phone, make sure you go into your settings and switch on notifications. Number 1. Deadpool and Spider-Man go to the movies. Spider-Man Deadpool number 6. When Deadpool asks Spider-Man for help with his big Hollywood movie, he explains, quote, "You know this world better than anyone. You're a total sellout." The issue also pokes fun at how X-Men have been corralled off into their own separate franchise, with Storm wondering, quote, "Hey, how come none of the other superheroes talk to us?" The real gem, though, is at the end of the comic, when Deadpool and Spidey see the movie Nighthawk vs. Hyperion, Yawn of Boredom. The movie poster pretty obviously resembles Batman vs. Superman. It even has the tagline, "You won't believe their mothers share a first name." Ouch. Is there a superhero mockery we missed? Break the fourth wall down in the comments.
But it's really just a sip of tea at this point.
Zip it, Black Widow. I'm flowing.
Did you enjoy this video? Check out these other clips from WatchMojo. And be sure to subscribe and ring the bell to be notified about our latest videos.